Today we talk about the aftermath of the Switch 2 announcement. Minecraft has made how much money? And we're doing it live. All this and more. This is Nerds with Mics. Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerds with Mics. This is episode 176. I'm Travis.
I'm Jared. And still no Justin.
And still no Justin. Yeah, still no Justin. Justin is, I think Justin, it's not even his son that's doing swim lessons. I think it's Justin that's doing swim lessons.
Oh, yeah. Justin definitely doesn't know how to swim.
No, he definitely doesn't. He doesn't strike me as somebody that would know how to swim, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there.
Definitely
all
can't
right.
swim,
well, yeah. I can't swim either. It's fine. So if we're in the middle of recording and for some odd reason I just disappear, it's because I'm either dead or my power went out. So it's storming pretty bad here in Atlanta. You'll probably see behind me if you're watching occasional flashes of lightning and whatnot. It looks very cinematic, but here's to hoping I don't die or my roof doesn't come off. So anyways,
or both.
Yeah, or both. I mean, as long as I die before my roof comes off, that's really what's important. That's pretty dark. Let's not talk about that. I'm scared now. Anyways, we have a fairly...
Travis.
Yeah, I know. It's just a matter of when it gets to us all, right? So we have a fairly... I always say light episode, but then they always end up being an hour anyway. So I'm not.
Yeah, last week we even said, because we didn't start recording till 10, we're like, oh, we'll be done in like 45 minutes, and then it was an hour and 10-minute episode, and it's like, well.
I think what happens is, like, when we record, we'll text occasionally in our group chat throughout the week, but we really don't talk until we record next. So I feel like it's always just a catch up and gab sesh. So it's fine. But anyway,
especially since you don't play games anymore, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. But
Mr. Big Boy all of a sudden back on PoE and acts like he plays games all the time. I don't want to hear it, bro. I don't want to hear it.
Have you touched PoE, Travis?
I haven't. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. Okay, I don't know how much Assassin's Creed Shadows have you played? Is that 1 hour? Oh, look. Oh, yeah, I'm dead.
Whoa.
For sure. I am dying. I'm about 16 hours in, I think, so far.
I'm definitely not that far. I mean, the little bit I have played of it, I have enjoyed it, though. So there's a lot that's come out right now, and like a lot that I've made prior commitments to keep playing. And it's like TV shows, I can kind of force myself to like finish one before I start another. But then like games, it's so much harder to... You're afraid you're going to miss the hype train.
Yeah, it's like me. It's like I was playing Monster Hunter with some friends, and I finished like the first like 3 chapters, and it's like I need to finish the last 3 so I can get into master rank and start doing some higher end stuff. And like the problem was I stepped away from that game to play Assassin's Creed, and now I'm like struggling to go back to Monster Hunter. So
Assassin's Creed is actually really good. I'm impressed.
I know. And I haven't even made it, like I said, I'm 16 hours in, and I haven't even made it to play with the samurai yet. So it's but the story is really good so far. And I find that, like all Assassin's Creed games, I'm just out exploring and just randomly finding stuff to get into. And I've been trying to mainline the story, but I find myself doing side quests all the time. And one of my favorite things to do, and like I know you haven't played that much of it, but one of my favorite things to do is to like go to a fort and just wipe everybody out and just clear it off and move to the next one. Like that's the thing that I enjoy doing the most. So that's what I've been doing.
Nice.
Yeah. So before we get into news, we have some news, obviously, some discussions we're going to get into. But as always, we always like to talk about what we've been up to. And I'll actually start because I always feel like since I am the one that usually hosts the show, I always pass it to somebody else first. But you know what? We're going to do it differently. I'm going to talk about what I've been up to.
Doing it live.
Yeah, doing it live. And I also appreciate at the beginning of the episode, you didn't say, "Oh, look, we did the intro right." You like let it just let it happen. It was great. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, but now
once again, I'm doing what you did. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah. So as I mentioned, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's been fun. I've also been playing Split Fiction with my girlfriend. We're I think 5. Or either 4 chapters or 5 chapters in, which I don't know if you've played that game or if you and Maddie play games together at all. It's one of those games that you obviously have to have 2 players to play, so you can't play it unless you have somebody, but it's been very good. I've also been watching The Righteous Gemstones, the new season, which has been fantastic. I'm sad that it's the last season, but I do feel like based on how everything's going, it's gonna be a good time to end the show. Do you watch that show at all?
I do. I'm waiting for the new season to finish before, because I just
So
want
you
to be
just
able to. I just want to be able to binge it. But I will say the Bradley Cooper scene has been ruined for me, or one of his scenes, and
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But nothing will ever top Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers. It's the best. It's basically Family Feud, but for the Bible, and it's
Yeah.
hilarious. Um, I'm surprised that won't be a spinoff actual show at some point. But anyways, and then the last thing that I've been up to, you'll be happy to know, I am all yeah. Don't look at the notes. Don't look ahead. Don't look ahead, Jared. I'm gonna start making my own notes so you can't see what I've been up to.
Wow.
Uh, but yes, I am finally caught up on The Rookie, which I'm actually glad. So I thought that like it was a shorter season. The finale has already happened, but no, I just finished episode 13 of this season last night. And it's been a good season. There's like a lot of different little things happening in this season.
Yeah, I
You
think
got the whole thing going on with Glasser, and then you have this whole other thing happening. Like there's like a lot of different things. Typically in the seasons past, I'm waiting for like the big rumble. There's always been like one big overarching like thing that's happening for the season. There it is. Oh, my house is shaking.
I watched your camera shake.
Yeah. Um, but this there's like little things happening all over the place as opposed to this being like one big overarching theme. And it's
So
like the
far.
Glasser thing was very heavy in the beginning slash middle, and they've kind of stepped away from it, and now they're kind of coming back to it. Which are you all caught up?
Yeah.
So to find out that like Glasser was behind all the the deformation like billboards and stuff like that, like very interesting. But yeah, it's been a good season so far, and I always hate the cat and mouse game that Chin and Tim play back and forth. But this season I've actually been quite enjoying it. It's been good. But honestly, I think my favorite storyline so far this season has been well, they refer to him as Texas, but I really like his storyline. I
Yeah.
think it's really good. Because like the last episode we just watched was like the one where he basically like beats back up with somebody that he played football with and seeing what his life could have been, right? And he had an opportunity to like basically kind of get back into that lifestyle, but chose not to. And just his arch is very good. I like it, or his arc, I should say. And then I'm trying to think of what else in this season has been good, but overall, it's been a good season. I'm kind of curious of how many more episodes we have because like the last season was during the writer's strike, so we only had like I think 10 or 11
It was a
episodes. So I'm
very
hoping,
short season last season.
yeah.
I'm kind of.
So I'm hoping this season's gonna be a little bit longer.
That's what I was about to say. I'm kind of hoping we get just a smidgen longer this season.
Yeah, yeah. So pretty excited to see how this turns out, but it's been good. I'm glad that I've got caught up on that. I'm sad that I had my girlfriend watch. So for those of you that don't know, I don't talk a lot about my girlfriend on this podcast, but uh, she has this thing where she can't watch anything that's like too intense, right? Like because she tends to make it like not necessarily real, but she'll stress out about it. So like if you watch something that's like post-apocalyptic or world ending, like it'll mess with her for 2 days. Like she'll just be like having problems sleeping and stuff.
28 days
Um,
later.
yeah, no, we don't watch anything that crazy. But I had her watch the first episode of Paradise. Uh, yeah, it did not go well. It did not go well. Um, it wasn't nearly as bad as when. So she was working on the couch, and like I'll put something on TV. So I didn't even think that she was like really watching it. But I put Deep Impact on, which I don't know if you've seen Deep Impact, but that messed with her for like 2 days. Like she was not able to sleep. Like she
Well,
just
now
kept thinking like,
she's seen Deep Impact. Now you got to watch Armageddon.
no, yeah, no. Like she won't even watch Interstellar with me. Like, and it's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's one of
But
the best movies of all time.
space freaks her out. So like she won't watch it.
Oh God, what was
Uh,
the George Clooney movie where like flies
Uh,
off into space. You know what I'm
oh,
talking?
that was the one with Sandra Bullock, but it wasn't just called Space. I can't remember what it was
It
called,
was
but
a
yeah.
super simple name, but I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah. But yeah, that was so sad. I forgot all about that movie actually. Um, Outside of that, the only thing I don't have listed that I've actually been enjoying over the past like 2 days is so like I moved my second TV, which is like a 77-inch TV, over to my girlfriend's house because she had a much older. She had like a 42-inch, like
Subtle flex, but
720p.
okay.
And no. Like in well, you have nice TVs, don't even play. But she had like a 42-inch Insignia, like 720p TV, like crazy TV, right? So I moved it over there because I was like, oh, we need a better second because she hosts like events all the time. So we'll have like movie nights and stuff. And the first couple we were like watching on this tiny little TV. So I took mine over there. But because of that, like I've missed having a TV in my bedroom, but I have like this projector that I bought for like an outdoor movie nights. So I've recently actually I have like this big old blank wall. So I've recently set up my projector on my actual in my bedroom, and it's actually been really nice because the screen's probably like 130 to 150 inches. So I've been like watching stuff in there now, and it's been really fun. I don't know why, but I also have I bought like a cheap Android box that I can download stuff to. So I've gotten all the apps that allow me to play all my consoles remotely in my bedroom. So I've been able to like play Xbox and PlayStation and all that type of stuff like on my projector and stuff. It's been really fun. So that's been my recent oh, Jared just completely disappeared. So I guess it's just me now. Anyways, I'm not sure what happened, buddy.
I thought I lost you.
You went away. I did not go away.
You went away from me. I don't know what
Oh
happened.
yeah, that's super strange. I don't know. But anyways, I was just sitting here
Yeah, I
talking
wonder if
about
you'll hear.
myself.
I wonder if you'll hear me go. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see have to see how that shakes out. But anyways, so that is what I have been up to. We should probably maybe move along. Enough about me before we completely
Lose
this
power.
goes. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. So what have you been up to?
So much like you've been keeping stay caught up on keeping
Are you all
caught
right there,
up on
buddy?
takes pennies. Keeping caught up on the rookie, which, like you said, has been a really good season so far. It's I won't say it's one of my favorite TV shows, but it's up there. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
put it up there as good as like Breaking Bad or Band of Brothers or Righteous Gemstones, something like that. But it is a very good TV show, so I've definitely been enjoying this season. As you were talking about earlier, been doing something you haven't been playing PoE 2, getting back into that, and I will say I'm a fan of the update. I get that they didn't add some of the content that we were hopeful for with like no story expansions and stuff like that. But they did give us a new class. They've changed some of the maps around and it's been getting review bombed pretty hard. Like I think the last time I'd seen it was mostly negative on Steam, which is super surprising for that game. However, I don't think it deserves all that hate, to be honest. Like, could they have given us more content? Yes, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're not even in the 1.0 version of this game. We're still in early access.
It has been one of the most polished early access games I've played, honestly.
Oh, and now I will say, in defense of the negative reviews, I've had more issues after this patch than I did before. So
Oh,
one really fun one is you'll just be in the middle of a boss fight or doing your ascendancy or something like that. You will just stop moving. Your screen will completely freeze. Then your mouse will flicker a couple times, and then you'll be back in the fight again. And like you'll be frozen for like 5 to 10 seconds.
will you take damage during that time because you're not attacking, or what?
So that's what's weird is no, it's like it pauses the entire game while it happens.
That's super strange.
Now, if you're partied up with somebody and it happens to you, no, you still take damage because they're still actively playing. But like if you're soloing, then yes, it'll pause it.
Oh, interesting.
Um, but other than that, really not been doing a whole lot aside from work. But Siege has been something I've still been into. Still trying to get better at it. Like I said, I used to play a lot of it, but now I'm starting to get back into it. So that's one game I would like to see you on, Travis, but we shall see. I know that's more of a Justin game, but
It is. I don't even know if Justin exists anymore, to be honest with you.
I don't either. Justin might actually have just like phased into the ether.
Justin, are you there? If you're listening to this episode, please text me when you hear this.
Justin, please just text us a nerd so I can be involved as well.
Nice. Well, if he
Well,
texts me on the side, I'll never let you know I heard from him. I'll just let you assume he's dead.
fair. The next time he texts and nerds, or we all meet up for lunch when you're in town or something, just freak out and,
Yeah.
oh my God, you're alive.
Yeah, one of the things that I forgot to mention, that I've been up to. Oh, did you have anything else to add before I add the thing I forgot? I think you got through all yours, but I wasn't sure if there was anything else you wanted to add.
We're good.
You sure? You look super salty.
No, we're good.
Okay, so my friend Alex and his buddies over at the Testing Room podcast, they do a really cool section. It's something I would like to shamelessly steal. It's called the Video Game Book Club, where they rotate and each person picks a
Ah,
video game and they play through it together. And then they break it up into episodes and talk about the play session for whatever it is. And they've been doing it for quite some time, but it's always one of my favorite things that they do because they go back and revisit a lot of old games. Like they went back and revisited like Beyond Good and Evil, but the game they're currently doing. Do you remember the EA game that came out on regular Xbox called Black? It was
oh
like the first
God.
person shooter.
Yep.
Like yeah, so that's the game that they're on right now, and the last two I've played along with them. Like I've played the last one was the Metal Gear Solid on PS1. It was the last game they played. This one is Black on Xbox, so I just played through the first two chapters of that the other day, and I forgot how ahead of the time that game was. Like from the mechanics, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still certain things I'm just like I have no idea. This was a choice. I don't know why they did this, but as far as gun design, the score for the overall like music for the game, the audio for the guns, like all that stuff, and graphics, like was well before its time, I feel like. But I also think that game was probably closer to the end of the Xbox console cycle because I think it was like 2006 is when that came out. Um, but I was like, man, I really feel like some of these games they just don't make like this anymore. And I was like thinking to myself, if Michael Bay was to make a video game, this is what it would be because there's like constant like sun glare, like sun flares and like all kinds of stuff. I'm just like, this looks like a JJ Abrams or a joint. But yeah, it's a really good game. I forgot, but some of the choices that they made where like you can only open doors with shotguns or grenades, like what a
Yeah.
choice. And then
You were
also the
correct. It
fact
came
that
out right at it came out '06, so you got it right on the money.
yeah. But the thing is like only being able to open doors by shooting with shotguns or using grenades was a choice, I feel like, because it's not guaranteed that every door is going to be locked because sometimes you'll blast in a door and there'll be people in there and you're just thinking, do you just lock the door every time you come in here? Like what's happening? But it's also one of the first games that I remember playing that had destructible environments as well, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, so that was something I've also been up to as well. So yeah. And it is on Game Pass, as an Xbox game if you wanna go back and revisit it. That's where I'm actually playing it at currently. So
Kind of
and
do want to
actually
go back and play it.
yeah, and I actually found an app that allows you because most of the remote play apps for Xbox, for some odd reason, will not let you stream Xbox games, but I recently found one that allows you to stream Xbox games as well, like regular Xbox games and 360 titles. Like, I also went back and
Nice.
played Perfect Dark just to see what it was about. But anyways, yeah, that's what I've been up to. So, anything else to add before we get into news? You're not hopefully you're not about to delete all that you just highlighted. I'm scared.
No, I'm
Ellie,
ready
please
whenever you
don't.
are.
Yeah. Let's get into some news. So, I know we're going to get into the big piece of news that you have is obviously bringing up. Stop moving stuff around before I kill you. Um, they did announce the Xbox showcase, but we'll save that to the end because we'll have a little bit more of a discussion. I'll go through these because there'll be a little bit of dialogue, but it's really going to be like, here's this. So let's talk about. I don't necessarily have this in here, but I have obviously tariffs complicate obviously the Switch 2 launch. So pre-orders were obviously slated to start April 9th. That is currently not the case because of tariffs. There's also a potential of tariffs because the tariffs for Japan is 24%. So it's potential that we could see obviously the Switch 2 being sold also in the country for obviously an increase. Nintendo is obviously going to be updating timing on when pre-orders will be happening at a later date. And even though there are going to be tariffs, it should not impact the launch date of June 5th, which is good. Now, some news that has that has I know that when we were talking last week about Switch 2 announcements, like we were kind of riding the high because we were looking at the highlights, right, of the direct because I didn't get to watch it directly, so I was just reading highlights from people, and I don't think it really necessarily came out until after the direct. Some of the negative stuff. So I wanted to just kind of hit on some of those and just kind of get your reactions. So obviously the cost of games is the big one, right? $80 for digital copies and $90 for physical copies, which is setting a new precedence, right? Like there's been a lot of rumors that the next GTA is probably going to be one of the first $90 to $100 video games. So everybody was kind of holding until that was going to happen. But I think Nintendo was just like, hold my beer. Like, just hold my beer. Let's just go ahead and do this now and get ahead of it. Which I'm sure Rockstar was like, "Whoo, we don't have to be the bad guys now." You know what I mean?
I mean, my thing is like, one, I don't think it's a good thing for $90 for a video game. I think that $90 to $100 for a video game, like I think that's kind of insane. Like, I mean, we went from what $60 to 70 a couple years ago, and it's like,
Well, yeah, with this last console cycle, when we went from like PS4 and Xbox One to like the Series X and PS5, yeah, we went up $10 there, which is fine.
yeah, and
But
like
this
I
is
can see
drastic.
$10 was fair, right? But it kind of gets to a point where it makes you wonder, like, okay, what was it an adjustment because it is taking more development time now, or are now we pushing the boundaries to see like how much can we charge before people will stop buying the games?
Yeah, and my complaint isn't even necessarily with the cost of the console itself, right? Like, could it be probably $399? Yeah, absolutely. Now there was also news that came out to that point around the price of the console, and I can't remember if I mentioned this last episode. I don't think so because I found this information out after I recorded, I think. But they're making a version of the Nintendo Switch in Japan that is region locked, so you can only play games in Japan in native language, all that stuff, right? Which I'm sure they don't care about, right? Um, but the cost of the console is equivalent to US dollars $150 less. So one of the things we're thinking is, oh, well, they're charging us more, so it's going to subsidize the difference of people that are getting the $150 discount. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna do that, why not also say, "You know what? If you wanna have a region locked to the United States, you can't play any import games, can't play anything outside of English, but here's a discount." Like, we didn't get that option. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's kinda wild to me, but even at 450, like, it is what it is. You buy the console, and the thing is, like, console cycles are a pretty long time, right? So, like, even the original Switch, most people still have, and you're talking, what, 7 years? So, like, at the time that came out, it was what, 399 or 350, and you have that over the course of 5 to 7 years, that's fair. You know what I mean? Like, that's okay. But the cost of games, man, that's the part that gets me. And not only that, but the price of Joy-Cons have also went up. And with Joy-Cons, and I'm gonna see if I can get this word out without butchering it like I have been. Joy-Cons are notorious for stick drift. I did it. I nailed it. Not
what you
dick
called it?
drift.
Ah,
Not
there it
not
is.
um, but the fact that they're charging more for Joy-Cons, and they haven't even addressed the issue for stick drift by just putting in the Hall effect joysticks, which help with that, right? Like, if you're gonna increase the cost of that, but you're not really gonna improve the quality, yeah, you can use them as a mouse, like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, they're now magnetic. But if you're not really addressing the real issue of why people need to replace them, because when you think about it, like, if you're gonna buy the console, which is $499 that comes bundled with Mario Kart, chances are you're not gonna play Mario Kart alone. You're gonna probably wanna play with some other person in the house, right? So you're talking $499 for the console. You're talking, $90 for another set of Joy-Cons. You know what I mean? Plus whatever other video games that you're gonna get as well. Like, you're talking, like, PS5 Pro prices at that point. You know what I mean? And not to mention the fact that some of the physical games, not all, but some of the physical games won't even actually house the whole game on it. It will be you put the cartridge in, and it may have to download part of the game digitally as well. And Nintendo is notorious for just getting rid of things from their digital storefront. So, like, if you bought stuff digital on the Wii U, that storefront no longer exists. So if you wanted to re-download that at some point, you can't, even if you paid for it with your own money. So think about those people that are like buying the physical copies, wanting to have that physical media so that like later on down the road, if they ever want to go back and check out a video game, but you go to put that cartridge in, it needs to re-download part of it from a digital store that doesn't exist. Like, what does that look like? You know what I mean?
It's interesting you say that because earlier, whenever I was looking for some news to talk about, you talking about downloading content made me think of this, but listen to this. Ubisoft lawsuit insists gamers only have a limited license to access games, not an unfettered ownership right, even with physical copies.
Yeah. See, and I think that's the thing. It's like when we pay for a streaming service, we know we don't own that. We know that we don't own that content, right? Like if I stop paying for Netflix or Hulu, yeah, I know I don't have access to that because that's a rental. Now, if I'm buying a digital copy of something, like I feel like I should own that. You know what I mean? But you are gambling. You are gambling that if whoever you're buying that from goes under, you will no longer own that. You know what I mean? But I don't necessarily see Nintendo going anywhere. But the fact that they're actively shutting down old storefronts of places that you've had without giving you another way to be able to play that or to get your purchase is just crazy to me. They are the most non-consumer friendly company probably on the planet next to Sony. I think they constantly go back and forth for a competition of who can stick it to the consumer the most.
And still get money out of the consumer.
Yeah. Now I think they said I'm not sure if they fully released the prices of what upgrades will be. So like if you wanted to go to like the Switch 2 version of Breath of the Wild, but you already own a version or whatever. I know that when Sony does it, it's typically only $10. So like as an example, like I already purchased Days Gone and they're getting ready to release a remaster on PS5. It's $10 to upgrade to the new version. Like I think that's fair. Like obviously it takes time and people to go back into a studio to redo those things. So yeah, I think that's fair. But to pay any more than 10 or $20 for something that you've already paid for, it seems crazy to me as well. So
Let's bookmark this episode. What do you
yeah, and
think
come back.
Nintendo? What do you think Nintendo's going to reach for here? What do you think their upgrade price that they're going to be? I'd want to say I'm hopeful for 10. It
I'm
honestly
gonna
wouldn't
say
surprise. I want to
20
say
to 30, if not more.
I was going to say 30,
Yeah,
or they will just release a enhanced edition or something like that. That's a whole new copy of it,
yeah,
and make it a full price game. Honestly, wouldn't
yeah.
surprise me.
And what's crazy is even if you buy the upgraded model, you have to, if you haven't already bought the DLC, like, because you would think since the games have been out a while, if you're going to buy a Switch 2 version of a game that's already been out a while, it should have all the DLC included. It should be almost like a definitive edition. No, when you buy the version for Switch 2, it's the base game and you have to buy all the DLC as well.
I wish I missed the Xbox 360 days. Well, I think they did some on Xbox One too, but the Game of the Year edition ones that would come with
Oh
all your
yeah,
extra content.
they had like the label at the top and you knew that it was
Hmm.
like a game of the year. And the PlayStation, well, PlayStation did it as well. They did they had the red label at the top.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah. Yeah, it's just not the same gaming industry as it
And
was back then.
not to like $100, I think is kind of crazy for a game in the first place. But like if GTA 6 comes out at $100, I'd be like, $100 that sucks. But it's GTA 6, right? But
Yeah.
that much for Mario Kart? Like, don't get me wrong, I love Mario Kart just as much as the next person, but that'd be a much harder pill to swallow, in my opinion.
Well, not only that, but you can't tell me that the development cost for a Nintendo game is the same as a AAA Sony or PlayStation game. Like or sorry, a
Rockstar.
PlayStation or Xbox game. Yeah, or a Rockstar game where they actually have like do you think that they actually have people go into a studio, dress in mocap, have people actually acting out people that are like Mario or Zelda or any of that, or is all that just completely digitally animated? You know what I mean? So like I can't imagine that it takes more for them to develop. And I'm not taking away from the creative people at Nintendo and the products they release and all that stuff, but I just can't imagine it takes nearly as much time. Now, don't get me wrong. I will say that when Nintendo does release a game, it's usually polished with very few little bugs or issues. So I will say that. but I can't imagine the development cost is nearly as much as what it is like with a Sony or like a Microsoft title. Like when I think about Spider-Man 2 and the production costs of like that game where they actually have actors come into the studio and they're voice acting and all that type of stuff. Think of how little Nintendo first IP Nintendo games have actual dialogue. You know what I mean?
Right.
Other than wahoos and and you know what I mean? So I just can't imagine that the production cost is nearly as much. And I think they're one of the most profitable game companies that's out today because they don't lose money when they sell stuff. That's the big thing. But
So,
anyways,
just for math's sake here, right?
I love math.
How much was Mario Kart 8 when it first came out on the Switch? Was it 60?
It would have been 60, yeah.
So 60 times 67. Oh, nope. 350
Oh my god,
000. So at $60, I don't even know how I would say this number, Travis, but that is the number, that is the amount of money they made on just selling copies of the Switch at $60.
yeah. And not to mention the fact that the Nintendo Switch is the console that has the highest game and accessory attach rate. So when they buy the console, it has the highest attach rate for them buying additional games and additional accessories.
That's kind of an insane stat here.
So they're making money just hand over fist.
As of December 31st, 2024, Mario Kart 8 has sold 67.35 million copies on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. And here's the funny
that's also not counting the with another 8.46 million copies shifted from the Wii U. Nintendo has also confirmed that the Switch has sold over just over 150 million units.
Yeah. Yeah, and to think that the Mario Kart when it first came to Switch was just a recycled and amped up version of what already existed on the Wii U. That's the thing. That's the crazy thing. You know, once again, lowering the amount of time and money that it takes to release a Nintendo title. So, speaking of, you have anything else to add before we move on?
I was just
okay.
Getting angry at Nintendo. So
yeah. So thinking. Speaking of profitability, who would have saw this coming? The Minecraft movie leapfrogs over the Super Mario Brothers movie with the biggest domestic box opening in the history of a video game adaptation. Obviously, the movie starring Jason Momoa and Jack Black as two of the main leads. The Minecraft movie has added 144 million via the international box office and in a global opening of $300 million. The Minecraft movie reportedly cost 150 million to produce, and it's already made 301 million globally. So,
how much of that was the salary for Jason Momoa? Momoa and Jack Black.
Yeah. So what I think is crazy though, speaking of tariffs, so obviously there's been a pissing contest between the United States and China and back and forth. But supposedly the next rumor is that tariffs could lead to China banning movies from Hollywood. And China is the second biggest market for movies from America. So that could put a big hurting on the film industry. So that'll be interesting. So I'm kind of curious to see what type of impact that has.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun for sure.
Can't wait till all the movies that we've been hearing about for years on end. They're just like, oh, well, we're actually going to wait until we can show this in China as well.
Yeah, because the next movie that I'm going to talk about, because there was a CinemaCon 2025. I thought this was fake news when I read it, but there was a CinemaCon that just happened, and one of the franchises that was announced is getting a live action. Because I thought there was supposed to be a live action series coming to Netflix, but I don't know if that was ever confirmed. But there's a live action version of the Zelda franchise coming March of 2027. And I'm very excited about this.
I'm kind of here for it.
I'm hoping that Nintendo is involved because I feel like the Mario Brothers movie was very well done for an animated standpoint. I'll be very curious to see how a live action works. Also, like I really feel like we missed our peak window of who we could have had for the best Link. if you had to pick somebody to play Link from Legend of Zelda, who would you pick? You don't
Oh,
even play Legend of Zelda, do you? So it's probably a
I mean, I
this is
played
probably a
Breath of the Wild and what's
Tears of the
the?
Kingdom.
That's the one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So I'll just tell you mine, and you won't even need to tell me one because you'll be like, that would have been a perfect pick. But when I saw Legolas slide down the stairs on his shield while firing his bow, I was like, he needs to be Link. That he needs to be Link.
You're
But that
right.
obviously was many, many moons ago, so that doesn't make sense now. But
Just de-age him like they did Robert De
what they
Niro in The Irishman.
no, what they could do, which I know you never played Ocarina of Time probably, but Ocarina of Time has one of the best stories of any Zelda game. Because what happens in Ocarina of Time is you start out the first part of the game as Child Link. You remove the sword, the Master Sword, from the Stone of Time, and when you do that, you turn into Adult Link. So if they did a live action of that, they could have a younger person play him, and then they could have Orlando Bloom play the adult version of Link. That would be dope.
You
The
should
Temple of
write
Time.
you should write that, Travis, and
Yeah,
submit it.
yeah. But he still may be too old at this point. Honestly, who knows? But yeah, I guess they could de-age him. But for a
Orlando
whole movie,
Bloom,
I don't know.
join us on the podcast and let's talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about it, boy. But yeah. So that could be happening. And the great thing is they have over 30 games in the franchise to draw inspiration from. So here's the hoping that they don't mess it up because they got a lot of stuff to pull from. And I
It's
will tell
fair.
you, I can't tell you how many times I've seen, especially comic books movies, like you have so much good material that literally if you just read the comics and just took that and put it on film, there's no way it could be bad. But somehow people still manage to mess it up. I'm like literally the material is already there. You know
You
what I
know,
mean?
if you would have asked me or if you would have said that same statement 2 years ago, I would have said thanks DC. But at this point, it's thank you to both Marvel and DC for messing those
Yes.
up for us.
100%. But yeah, so that is all the news I had. I know you have some Xbox news for us. So what did you want to bring?
So, not really news, very little smidgen bit of news for Xbox, but Travis kind of stole my thunder at the start of the news section whenever he said, "Hey, I know you want to talk about this thing that got announced, but we'll talk about that at the end, even though he just mentioned it." But I digress. Anyways, so the other day we actually was it the other day or yes yesterday Microsoft confirmed that the Xbox showcase for this year will be taking place in June, and we have very very little information outside of that. And one thing I kind of just wanted to ask you, or I know there are at least two, probably two games, maybe one that we'll both be excited for. However, I kind of just want to hear your thoughts and see kind of what you're hopeful for. I'll go ahead and say just before you can even say it, so you don't steal my thunder on this one too. If I don't get more information about Fable, I will riot. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
Okay. That's fair. I know that one of the big games that's going to headline is the Outer World 2, I think, is going to be because that's Obsidian's next title.
Oh, they did announce that. Yeah, that one has been. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is basically like a Fallout comedy version in space, essentially. It's like, so that'll be fun.
Have you played the Outer Worlds?
I played a little bit of it. It's good what I played, for sure.
I like it. It's very good.
Yeah. And then
I
also
like it a
saw that
lot.
Adamfall came to Game Pass. Is now available if you want to check it out, which is also like another
Oh,
Fallout title.
really?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Just
Um,
to kind of give you, before you go into what you're hopeful for, or what you're most excited to see, they do have a list of games that are currently in development, which we have Fable, The Perfect Dark reboot, Ninja Gaiden 4,
yeah.
Contraband, Clockwork Revolution. Some of these I don't know. Uh, Contraband is apparently from the developers of Just Cause, which that would be nice.
You know what I was really hoping? I was hoping Contraband was going to be like a modern take on Mercenaries.
Oh, don't you tease me like that. Uh,
I mean, tell me Mercenaries is not basically Just Cause, but back in the early 2000s. I mean, that's basically what it is.
God, I miss Mercenaries so much. Playing on the PS2, so good.
It was.
We've got Gears of War E-Day, getting another Gears of War game. Uh, Kojima's OD and State of Decay 3. Psychonauts is apparently their developer is working on a new game. And
Okay.
then the one I know you're really excited for, Travis. We'll probably get a deeper look into Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. So
Yeah, I can't wait to look deep inside of Tony Hawk. Look
easy now.
forward look forward to it. Yeah, so obviously Fable is the big thing that I would like to see an update on. One that I feel like you failed to mention, how dare you, is Elder Scrolls 6. I'd like to see an update on that, which I don't think we'll probably hear anything about.
We'll get a teaser and then it'll pop up a release date and it'll be like
2030.
no, it'll be like 2037, dude. Like
Yeah. Yeah, so that I am excited to see about Obsidian's new game, The Outer Worlds 2. I think that will be good. Trying to think of what else. I am really excited to see. I want to see more gameplay on Perfect Dark because the trailer that they have looks really good. But I would like to see some more gameplay because I felt like a lot of what we saw was mostly cinematic. But I would like to see more of it as well. But I think out of all those things, I would say Fable is the thing I want to see most about. And I actually wouldn't mind. I don't know if it's time, but I feel like Forza Horizon 5 has been out a while, so I don't know if it's time for like a Horizon 6, but I would like to maybe see an update on that. Um, but I don't think we will because that studio is the one that's working on Fable. So I don't think that we'll probably get an update on Horizon because that studio, Playground, I think it's Playground Games, I think, or something, is who is
I
working
think
on.
so. I will tell you, I will be. Would I be happy that there's a new Forza coming out? Yes, but I'm also going to be upset that if I find out the reason that Fable was delayed was because they had to work on a new Forza. Also, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll be curious if there's a new has there been whispers or anything of like or rumors of like an upcoming Halo game?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
When
don't think
was the
so.
last Halo game we got? It was
5, wasn't it?
yeah. When did that release? Oh God.
I feel like it's been a while. I feel like it's been a minute. I mean, because they had
No, no, it wasn't five, was it? Because that was
it was
Guardians
Infinite. It was Infinite.
Infinite.
Yeah. And then that's mostly online though, right? I mean, there is story, I think, right? Or is it mostly online?
There's a campaign for it.
Yeah. Maybe it hasn't been
Uh,
out that long.
yeah, it's been out for a minute. December 8th, 2021.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, that's mostly what I'm looking forward to. I I know South of Midnight is available on Game Pass now, but I haven't played it yet. So I am curious to see how that's going to be. Anything else you want to add around what you'd like to see? I wouldn't mind seeing outside of games, like any kind of new hardware features or software features that would be coming to Xbox. I think would be cool. But I think it's going to be centric like around games. I don't think we're really going to see much around hardware wise or software wise. They don't
I
typically
mean,
tend to talk much about that.
we've recently got kind of a soft refresh of the Xbox
I
this generation. I want that. I, I'm you, which not to go off on a tangent here, but like now that I have decent internet in my new house, like the digital Series X is actually very appealing to me. So
Yeah,
I have thought about because I have a PS5, I have my PC, and I always said I don't need an Xbox just because I have a PC. However, there are times it would be super nice just to be able to log into my Game Pass and download a single player game and play on my TV, which I
yeah.
think that's kind of where which I get I could use my
You I think you can also download Steam Link on your Xbox and be able to stream your PC games to your living room too if you
mhm.
wanted to, which would be nice. I tell you what I would like to see hardware wise. I don't expect to see a new Xbox. I would love to see one of two things or both, but one of two things would make me happy. One, they come out and say, "Hey, we understand that Windows handhelds and like that market is starting to grow." So either they announce their own like handheld console or they announced that they're finally making a version of Windows that's going to be efficient for these gaming handhelds that will help on battery life and improve performance. I would love to see that. Yeah, I think that would be really cool. So
Yeah, because I mean, the ROG Ally, it if the battery life was longer on it, it would be a top contender in my opinion.
I'll tell you the one to look out for. I think that'll be good. Is the only downside is you can only play games that you buy in Steam, which for you wouldn't be a problem because you outside of most all your games are on Steam, right? You
Yep.
have some through Game Pass, but not a ton, right?
Yep.
But the Legion Go that's coming out with the Steam OS on it, that's the handheld that I'm looking forward to. Not the Legion Go S with Windows on it. It's evidently like not great. But I am looking forward to seeing. But supposedly Steam is getting ready to roll out the official version of Steam OS that you can put on any Windows-based handheld. You can replace Windows or dual boot it.
Oh.
So that'll be interesting to see. I think that will be a big game changer as well. But yeah, we'll see. But I would really like to see a version of Windows on these handhelds that's way more efficient because all they're doing is basically taking the full blown version of Windows and shrinking it down so you get a. It's just not super efficient. That's why a lot of these Windows handhelds can't get more than 2 hours of battery life unless you're like doing nothing but like streaming and not physically playing games on the actual handheld itself. So because my Logitech G Cloud, it's mostly all. I mean, I have some emulation stuff set up, but most of the stuff I stream over the internet, and that thing can get 12 hours on a single play session if I wanted to. So all right. Well, I don't think there's anything else to add. Let's talk about what we're looking forward to. This I will let you start.
Yeah. So obviously, Final Reckoning. Not to steal your thunder, Travis,
Did
but I won't mention that. Go
did you
ahead.
see the final trailer?
Yeah.
Like the one with the new characters we haven't seen yet?
Yep.
That got me so amped, bro. I have
Dude,
so
I'm
many
so
questions.
excited. Like the last one, I loved that movie. Like I thought it was a fantastic movie, and I'm yeah. Well, you should probably hurry this up because I can see out your back window it is not looking good there. Um,
No.
but Final Reckoning looks fantastic. Also, definitely looking forward to some more PoE, getting that leveled up there, trying to get Travis going on it as well. Uh, Looking forward to playing more Siege. As much pain as that game causes me, it is nice to be getting back into a competitive shooter again.
Yep.
And then I never mentioned this. I don't know why I don't mention it, but every Friday I have family dinner with my family and Maddie. We go out there, we have dinner with them, and it's just something I get to look forward to every week.
That's
But
exciting.
one thing I left off there, I'm very excited. Travis, do you know what happens on April 20th?
I'm assuming something releases like game or a movie or a TV show of some
It's
kind or
coming
what?
back to theaters, Travis.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. Get to watch Duel of the Fates
I know.
on a movie screen, and it's going to be fantastic.
You're not gonna listen to. Is Duel of Fates in? I thought Duel of Fates was when they fight Darth Maul. I don't want to.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
want to
what's it?
ruin.
No, it is. You're right. It's not Dual Fates. What's it called? The song I can't remember the song that plays
But
whenever they're
anyways,
fighting
that
each other.
fight scene between him and Anakin at the end
Yeah,
is top tier, baby. Top tier.
yeah.
And
I'm
that whole
so
like
excited.
scene when he cuts his legs off and he says, "I hate you." Yeah,
You are supposed to be the chosen one, Anakin.
yeah, yeah. It's so good. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back to theaters. See, I might see if I can find an IMAX here that has it because I'd like to go there.
Jealous.
Yeah.
I have gotten to watch one movie in IMAX, and it's because I was at a meeting in Columbus and was like, oh, I have to go see this
You've
while I'm
only
here.
ever been to one IMAX movie? What was it? Was it even anything good?
It was the first Godzilla.
I mean, that's a pretty good movie to see in IMAX, but it's not the best. Like,
I like if
so
I
let
could have
me
seen Interstellar in IMAX.
I saw Interstellar in IMAX because they brought it back while it was here.
Thanks,
And
Travis.
I just heard a big thud. Not sure what that was, but we'll see. But anyways, so yeah, so I saw Interstellar. I saw when they started the new the Star Trek movies with Chris Pine. I saw the first Star Trek
I
movie.
actually
I
really
saw the
like those movies.
yeah, yeah. I saw Dark Knight Rises. I
Oh,
saw it. Yeah. Yeah, it's been good. But yeah, I'll be curious to see if I can to get into Revenge of the Sith. So but yeah, so looking forward to vacation. So my vacation officially starts on I think next Friday. And then I'll be going to Gatlinburg with my family. So I'm pretty excited about that. Outside of that, I am excited also for Mission Impossible. I have to wait till May, which isn't really that far away. But what do you think? Let me ask you a question about what we saw in the trailer. I'm not going to say the characters like that we saw because we know who they are. But where he's getting in that chamber and he's putting that mask on that clearly is the AI from the last movie. Do we think we're about to see, like, you watched Chuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, like, we're about to see, like, him download all this craziness to his brain? Like, what do we think's happening?
That's honestly, and like I know we typically agree with each other. That was the first thought that crossed my mind.
I was
And
like, what if that happens? Like, because there's a lot of rumors that this is obviously going to be his last Mission Impossible movie, and I'm trying to think about like maybe that's what happens and it kills him, or maybe he ends up being like an intelligence like top tier person. That's how he like I don't know, man. I'm
where we
kind of
get
intrigued.
the end of the Nolan Batman trilogy, where just see somebody sitting at a bench or
And he's
sitting at a
like, and he's like,
yep.
hits it with that Michael Caine. Like, you know, the one thing that I can't believe you didn't say. You know what happens this Sunday,
Wait a minute, give me a second. Sunday.
April 13th? You can, if you want a cheat sheet, it's the last thing that I was going to mention on my looking ahead.
Oh yeah, I did
The
forget. Oh God,
Last of Us season 2, baby, premieres. So pretty excited about that. I don't know if you saw, but there's already been reviews come out for the episode.
mm-hmm.
And from what I've been reading, I don't know if my corrections were right that they would try to put
Your
off.
corrections were right.
Well, sorry, my predictions were correct because it seems like based off what I've read in the reviews that the big thing that happens might happen like early in the season, and I'm just like, I can't believe that they went this way.
Look at this. Look at
Nobody
me. I'm
specifically
looking into the
said it.
camera right now. I just want to
Yeah,
say, if you've never played the game before,
hold on to your butts.
hold on to your butts, and I'm sorry for what you're about to experience.
So we're about to see
Do you
because I
think it'll?
forgot
Do you
because
think
I
it'll be as
forgot.
bad as it was in the game?
I kind of hope they don't shy away from it, honestly, because it was pretty brutal.
Yeah,
And I'm not normally one for gore, but I feel like to sell it like the game, they kind of have to.
yeah. They got to
Uh,
make it brutal.
and I can't remember. You beat the game, correct?
Both, yes.
Yeah. So without getting into what happens, so in the game, when the first game ends and the second game picks up, is there a 5-year jump, or is the 5-year jump after the event happens that we're not talking about? Because there is a time jump, right?
If I remember it right, which didn't
I
you
think
just play through this?
I did, yes, but I
I
think the
played through it at
time jump.
release. I think it's after.
I think it's after because all the flashbacks fill in that 5-year gap.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
because we get the super depressing
yeah,
flashback at the very. Yep, 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 yep.
okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean maybe that's the way they're gonna do it.
Buckle your seatbelts.
Yeah, hold on to your wee wees, or hold on to someone else's wee wee if you have to. I don't know what to tell you. But anyways, all right. Well, let's go ahead and get into which I don't know if you're ready for this or not, but let's go ahead and get into picks of the week.
Do 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 do.
Yeah. Da, da, da.
There's your
Um,
callback.
I think about Terry in the recommendation station and him blowing that stupid train horn. I don't know if he listens to the show anymore, but please, Terry, if you do, just please comment on our YouTube or something that you still have that train whistle. I gotta know. Choo choo.
Oh,
But
he definitely
anyways,
has it.
and then he would hit you with that all aboard
All aboard.
the recommendation station. Take a look. It's in a book, baby. Reading Rainbow. But anyways, so do you have a pick of the week? Or are you just trying to think in one in real time? You're just gonna say something stupid like Path of Exile. I already know it.
No, no, I'm not.
What? Okay, go ahead.
Path of Exile was my pick of the week.
Ah, you son of a bitch. I knew it.
No, actually, my pick of the week this week is probably gonna be the rookie, just because like, is that your
No, I'm just
pick?
kidding. No, no, no.
Okay, just because like I've really been enjoying this season. It's something like Maddie enjoys watching it. I enjoy watching it. It's actually going to be a tie for pick of the week because the rookie and Reacher, because I've been finishing the newest season of Reacher, and
Oh, I
both are
finished it. That's one thing
fantastic
I
this
forgot.
season.
Yeah, I forgot to mention I finished that too. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it's Are we allowed to talk
It's
about
different.
stuff that's happened in Reacher yet, or is it till
Yeah, you can. Yeah, spoiler cast. We're for the next 3 minutes. If you don't want to hear about Reacher, just fast forward.
when he gets punched by Polly, and like
Oh
it's
yeah, I think we talked about that. Yeah,
the
yeah,
look of like it's the first time that he's like, oh crap.
100%. How far? How many more episodes you got
I
left?
think I've got like 2 episodes left.
So without spoiling it, there is a knockdown drag out fight between him and Polly, and it's amazing. It's
Really,
the best part of it's the best part of the season, I think, in my opinion.
dude, that
Yeah,
guy
because
is
it's very
massive.
yeah. I mean, obviously, you look at Reacher and you're like, he's a big boy. But then when he's like next to Polly, you're like, holy shit. But what I
Hold on,
will
I
say
oh go ahead while I'm looking
is,
this up.
I'm trying to fill in the gap while you look it up, bro. Just calm down. What I will say is very interesting about that whole like the dynamic between them two is like throughout the entire series of Reacher, we never really see him seem scared or fragile or whatever it may be. So it's very interesting to see a little bit of that in him in this season because we've never really seen that before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So to give you an idea of the complete, for those of you who haven't seen it, so the guy who plays Reacher is 6'3".
Yeah.
Pretty big
But he's
dude.
stacked.
He's built, yeah. This guy we're talking about, Polly, is 7'2"
Holy
and
mackerel.
massive. He is
Yeah.
huge.
That's crazy, bro.
He is
Yeah, that's
seven
wild.
foot two.
That's so crazy. Wonder if he played sports. Why not? He's too
Strong
big
man.
to play any. Yeah, strongman maybe. Um, yeah, that's crazy though. Yeah, those are good picks. For me, I don't think that while I haven't beat it yet, I will say that um, Split Fiction is probably my pick of the week. If you're looking for a great co-op game to play with someone, Split Fiction is where it's at. If you've played anything like It Takes Two, if you've played A Way Out, if you've played any of these are all by the same developer, by the way. If you've played Brothers, I think it's Brothers Tale, um, all cooperative games. I would say that like if you have a significant other that doesn't play a ton of games and you're looking to get them into something, this is a very good game. I will tell you, so we were playing and there's this one stage. So essentially the story, you're playing through these authors and you end up doing this thing where you're basically playing through their stories. But what's cool is like one is a sci-fi based writer, the other is a fantasy based writer. So as you're playing through stages, you're constantly switching between these different environments, which is pretty cool. But one of the stages that you play, you you start the stage and you're both pigs. And one pig, you jump and you can fart rainbows and you fly. I know it sounds absurd. And then the other pig is like, you remember in Toy Story, you remember Slinky Dog?
Yeah.
Basically imagine Slinky Dog, but if you're a pig, and that's what the other person plays. But you're going around collecting apples to open these doors. And this stage is unlike any of the other stages. In any of the other stages, you're playing the two female leads. So this is very out of place, but you're playing through one of their stories. But you're playing and you're collecting apples to open up these doors. And you see this hot air balloon way in the distance that looks like a strawberry is like the balloon part. Anyways, that's what you're slowly working towards. Well, we go to get in the basket and we're thinking, oh, okay, the stage is about to end. I haven't told you this already, have I?
No.
But when you think it's gonna lift up, it kind of fades to black and you see the bottom of the air, like the basket that would be in the air balloon drop out, and your pigs go into a meat grinder. The stage ends, and the very next stage is your two hot dogs.
Yeah.
two, you you're two hot dogs and you have to cook yourselves on a grill, and then you hop over and you have to spray each, like there's a ketchup and a mustard bottle and one of you has to jump up and down on each one to spray the other with ketchup and mustard, and then you switch turns and then you both jump in buns, and then after you jump in the buns you get eaten by people, and that's the end of the stage. it's it's something so out of place and you don't expect it. You're like, what is happening?
I'm
But
probably gonna
like
have to give that a try.
But the fact that, like, you're playing these pigs and you're just like everything about it is just like there's all this fruit, vegetables that's like oversized, like bigger than life, and just like it's very like you're like, oh, this is very cool and so different. And then you get hit with that spoiler or you get hit with that like, oh, this is a meat grinder and you die. And then you come back as hot dogs. It's so wild. Just because everything you've played up until that point is nothing like that. It's so wild. But anyways, so that's why it's my pick of the week. I would say it's a cozy game. It was cozy up until you were pigs and
got turned into a hot dog.
Yeah, it's so wild, bro. And what's funny is my friend Alex and his wife are playing through it as well. And they're both vegan. So we went to trivia last night and I had to ask them, I was like, what did you think of this stage? And they were just like, it was so shocking and out of nowhere. They was like, but I couldn't help but laugh.
Nice.
I think it was the if you would have just got grinded and that was the end of the stage, but to come back as hot dogs and you have to cook yourself, I think that's what makes it better. You know what I mean? But anyways, I digress, as you would say.
I digress.
Outside of that, anything else you want to add before we go? And once again, we made it just to an hour. We've done it again.
Man, we're getting good at this whole podcasting thing.
I know it. Well, so if there's nothing else to add, I think that does it for this episode of Nerds with Mike's, episode 176. We'll be back next week with episode 177, I hope. Jared and I are going to discuss a better time because we don't know how long we're going to be without Justin. He may be dead for all we know. I'm not sure. But we're going to try to find a better time for us to record so we can get on a cadence of weekly releases. And I feel like this is something we say every couple months, but we're really going to try. And at some point,
happens. Life finds a way.
Yeah. All right. Nice Jurassic Park reference. I like that. But I would really like to get back to getting into streaming some games here and there. I think that would be really fun.
And I know we talk about it every time, but I had so much fun the one time we streamed.
Is it because you yoinked me off? I get it.
That's exactly why.
You just want to go back to that. I get it. Well, the question that I'll leave you with that we can follow up next week, and if you want to comment below, Jared, we can talk offline about it, or you can comment on our YouTube channel. The thing that I'll leave you with is how much is too little or too much to sell a booty hole pick for online? Peace. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Nerds with Mikes. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into all things nerdy, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please make sure not to forget to leave us a review wherever you listen or watch. Your feedback always helps us grow. And if you know a fellow nerd that would love the show, share it with them. Until next time, stay nerdy, stay awesome, and keep those mics on.